hope that y'all are doing well. Yes, yes. Um, yeah. So I am so grateful for y'all joining me here. I'm gonna try to. I'm doing this. Is it called simulcasting? I don't know. But I'm doing this thing where I am recording or I'm live on. Oh, that's too much light. Okay. Sorry, y'all. So we're just gonna have to adjust a bit. So I'm doing this thing where we're doing both Instagram and YouTube live at the same time. So that's exciting. However, I'm trying to find the right camera angle so that I'm not, looking like I'm, looking at all over the place. So anyway, I think this is a good setup. So I'm grateful for that. I hope that y'all can see me and hear me very, very clearly. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether you are joining on the live on either of the platforms or whether you catch the replay on any of our other socials. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, Conscious Creations, which is in part why you're here. Conscious Creations is a company that I made, or I should say I started back in 2020. Back in 2020. And Conscious Creations is a wellness. I look at it as a wellness lifestyle being branded more so that, I mean, it is a company because we make products and we sell products and things like that and we do services and stuff like that. However, it's bigger than that, right? It's bigger than that. Conscious Creations truly is a lifestyle being branded. And that lifestyle is one of wholeness, wellness, wholeness of being. And again, I'm not the first one to talk about chakras and wellness and teas and all these things. But what's different is all of the products that are created through Conscious Creations are consciously created, meaning they're created with the intention for which generally it's said in the name, right? And so it's all based on our principles and our core knowing of who we are and knowing ourselves and believing. Well, let me back up. And knowing, right? Knowing. I have to continue to check myself anytime that comes up because we're beyond belief at this point. We are beyond belief. We are in knowing. And so knowing that we have the power to truly create any reality that we choose to live in, any life that we choose to have, any experience that we choose to have in our life, anything that we allow, we get to choose. We get to choose. And growing up, most of us, the products that we use, if you ask many people why they use the products that they use, most of them will tell you now. Maybe they're older, maybe it's a little bit different now, but younger, when we were younger, it was because that's what our family used, or it's what we saw on television, or someone that we know used it. And you know what I mean? We all use things for different reasons. However, um, the more the more I was able to, the more my consciousness was expanded and unlocked, the more I saw how what I was putting on my skin was creating issues in my body, right? And it goes that is just what it is, right? And so it was with that level of awareness that I started Conscious Creations because I was dealing with health challenges that I've talked to you guys about several times before, not just on this platform, but on other platforms. And so I knew that there had to be a better way. And so I went on my own journey, my own healing journey. And I know a lot of you who are tuned in and tapped into this sort of information, you can certainly relate to what I mean when I say healing journey. Because once you start to awaken to who you are and to truly embody the essence, your own divinity and your own essence and who you are, you start to really want to do more, to be more, right? To have and to be in your most excellent state, your most well state, right? And that looks different for everybody. But there's some things that are just truths. And so what we put on our skin gets absorbed into our bloodstream. Those things then impact our cells, right? Our cellular network, our tissues, our nervous system, the very neurotransmitters that go through our bodies, right? That transmit signals to our organs and tell our body what it is that we are to do and to give instruction to our body. Most of us are not aware of what it is that we are putting on our skin. And so, as we uncover and unlock these levels of awakening within ourselves, we become more in tune to ourselves. And the more you become in tune to yourself, the more you start to see these things and appreciate. That's key, right? And y'all will see me, I'm bouncing on my ball here, and we'll talk about that because that's a part of what we're, that's a part of this root chakra conversation, or the chakra conversation period, right? But you start to want, like I said, you start to want to be in your most excellent state, the highest, your most expansive vibration, because you begin to understand and to appreciate, because that's where value comes in the things that you actually appreciate, because it's your attention. It's what you pay. It's the attention that you pay. It's your belief in something that gives it the energy, right? It's your energy that feeds, systems and keeps, and keeps things going and flowing, right? And so one of the things that is so important, and this is where the root chakra comes in, is most of us were programmed, if not, I would say all of us, were programmed from the perspective of being consumers. From being consumers, meaning many of us were not taught the value of ownership and being an entrepreneur, right? I'm not saying that everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. I'm just simply stating what is, right? Most people are not taught those skills, whether or not you choose to walk in that, as a lifestyle, a profession, or what have you. Most of us are not taught from that perspective. We are taught from the perspective of being employed by someone else, right? From that perspective, and receiving a paycheck. Nothing wrong with that. It's just the perspective. One of the things that came to me with respect to that is how that detached many of us from it detached us from ourselves. It detached us from an awareness of the levels of power that we have to create for ourselves, to generate for ourselves, to bring value to ourselves, right? And then in turn, taking whatever it is that we are generating and creating and sharing that with those that we love in our communities and whomever, however, right? And so this is where the root chakra comes in. Because first of all, let's talk about what the chakras are. So, and y'all will see me, I'm be sipping my tea throughout. So this is, just so you know, first of all, this tea is really good. And I'm not saying that because I made it. I'm saying it because it really is good. So this is the Divine Feminine Rising 7 herb tea blend that is available on the Conscious Creations website. You can get it now on the Conscious Creations website. And one of the reasons that I made this tea is because it has at least three herbs in it that are known to be what are called nutritives. And those nutritives help to give the body the nutrients that the body needs in order to perform the functions that your body performs on a daily basis at a high level, right? And so I wanted to be able to nurture myself because, I'm stepping into this period of really appreciating, right? Appreciating my own feminine essence even more than I have before. Really appreciating her more. And what I mean when I say that is, and this all relates. It's just, stay with me, y'all. um, being in the energy, right, of receiving. So the thing about capitalism and consumerism, as it's all about go, 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 go get, go chase, go, you know what I mean? And it doesn't leave much room for receiving. It's about giving, 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 giving. And you're giving of yourself, you're giving of your energy, you're giving, you're giving. But when are you receiving? When are you when are you getting back? Because one of the laws of the universe is reciprocity, right? Reciprocity is the law of the universe. It is what it is. And so, for you to give and to give and to give and not receiving back in an equal or more abundant measure would tend to leave one depleted. And so, a lot of people, particularly in Western society, are minerally and nutritionally depleted. Depleted. And most of it, you're depleted through the chakra system, right? And we'll talk about that. And the root chakra was one of the first and primary, primal ways that this energy was siphoned from you, or you were given, giving out this energy without knowing what it is that why you're feeling down. You see what I'm saying? Because the root chakra is the base level chakra. And so this tea blend helps to give the body back those nutrients to replenish the cells and give you the minerals that you need to be fertile in all of your ways. And that's just not talking about fertility in terms of producing a child, right? It's fertility in terms of your creativity, fertility in terms of your joy, fertility in terms of your energy every single day, right? It's fertility, right? And it's the ability to be able to not just have ideas, but to be able to birth those ideas into reality. Because, if you've ever had a child or even had just responsibilities like, someone else or something else that depends on you for its sustenance, right? And for its life force and all of these things, right? If you've ever had that responsibility, you know that being organized and all of these things are so key to keeping you from being just burned out, right? But so many of us operate at that level all the time where we're just burned out and barely making it. And so I'm here, and Conscious Creations is here to replenish and to help you to replenish yourself and your cells so that you can truly operate from your most expansive, your highest timeline, version, dimension, however you want to call that space and that place that you have dreamt of for yourself. And even beyond that, right? Even things that for you may even seem unfathomable, right? But being able to operate from that space. But generational wealth starts in the kitchen. And so this divine feminine tea blend is not just for women, by the way, but it is what it is. So it has that divine feminine touch, right? And so yeah, so y'all pick that up, because I can tell y'all a story about everything, because we consciously create. So everything was done. Everything is everything. And so I can tell you a story about most if not everything that yeah. So anyway, the chakras, right? The chakras are literally wheels of energy, right? They're wheels of energy that spin both clockwise and counterclockwise throughout your body. Now, I believe it is the clockwise spin that spins on the masculine frequency. That makes sense. That spins on the masculine frequency, and the counterclockwise spin that spins on the feminine energy, right? And I'm trying. Let me see. And this is a whole nother thing about mastering your energy. But anyway, that's another thing. But anyway, so it's these wheels of energy that flow throughout your body, right? And so as these energies flow throughout your body, they awaken different parts of your cells. They awaken different parts of you. Now, in the primary chakra system, there are seven what are called chakras or wheels of energy. And that's what we're going to be going over throughout this seven chakra, this 7 week journeying through the chakras uh, time that we have together, right? So we're going to start with, and it's spelled, for all of those who don't know, it's spelled, well, it can be spelled, some people spell it differently. But for all intents and purposes, for what we're doing here, is we're spelling it Chakra, right? And we're starting with the root chakra. The root chakra, you also may see it in some text as the Muladhara. And I think that's interesting because, and shout out to Dr. B. Serious, because I heard him say this, and I was like, that was a confirmation for me. But he said that he talked about the fact that the root chakra was not always called I think it was Dr. B. Serious, that said that it was not always called the Muladhara chakra, that was changed when it started, having to do, when currency, right? And that's another thing. We'll talk about that with the sacral chakra as well. But when it came to currency, right, and that energy, it was changed to Muladhara, right? But anyway, so it is considered the base level chakra, and it sits at the base of your spine. So this is in part why we're sitting on the ball, so I can, kind of just demonstrate some things for y'all. So now, if you think about your spine, as a tree, you think about yourself as a tree, and you're in the spine as a tree, or even the spine of a book, right? If you think about it in that way, it helps you to really bring things into perspective, right? When you're thinking about these systems, or these centers, I should say. And so at the base of the tree, right? At the base of the tree, it's the roots. You know what? I have all kinds of trees and plants and all kinds of stuff over here. But y'all know what a tree looks like, right? So at the base of the tree is the roots. Now, the roots, as you know, go down into the soil, and the roots are where the nourishment, the nutrients, all of those things are in the root, if you don't know. So what happens is, if you start with a seed, you plant that seed into fertile soil, okay? You then water the seed, give the seed sunlight if it requires sunlight, but you give it potassium, you give it nitrogen, you give it phosphorus, you give it the seed you fertilize the soil with the right minerals to give the seed what it needs to grow, particularly when it's in its infancy in the darkness, right? The seed, if you think about it from the perspective of the seed, right? The seed is in the soil, right? So the seed has not seen the light, if you may. So the seed is in the soil, is being fertilized and taken care of by the gardener, who is gardening and, pruning and doing everything that it needs to make sure that the seed grows up to become whatever it is to be. So the root chakra delves deep into the roots of your ancestry, right? And if you know anything about trees and communication, trees actually communicate by their root structure in the trees as it goes through the ground. Because if you've seen some tree roots that are massive, massive, but that is how trees actually communicate, right? So they actually send signals to the other trees for predators, not predators, more so disease, right? And for things that may harm the tree. So it sends signals out through the underground network, right, to the other trees, okay? And that is how the root chakra basically operates. It's a part of the nervous system because of your entire body is a system. It's comprised of a system of nerves, and these nerves begin. I forgot what this is. Is it the? I'll know in the next video, y'all. But at the base of your skull, right? At the base of your skull, you have your skull, and then you have your spinal cord through through your spine, right? And then you have the nervous system, and some of those nerves, travel down your spine, others just throughout the body to send signals and information and everything that it does, right? So at the root, there's this information, all of this information that goes from all the way from the crown, which is considered to be at the top of the head, the crown chakra, all the way down, all of the chakras, all the way down your spinal cord into the root. And even further than that, because it's not, remember, just your nervous system doesn't stop at the base of your spine, because you have nerves going down your leg into your feet. And this is in part what we're going to talk about, because in part this is electrical energy. And if you know anything about electricity, it requires grounding. True story. I was going to make this video in my other room, but I put the heater up there because it was cold in this particular, I don't know why this particular room gets colder than the other room. So I put a heater in this particular room, and I went back in the room, and I guess it blew a fuse because the lights and everything are off, but so now I have to figure out how to do that, and it's a whole thing. So as we talk about the root chakra and grounding, this is happening in real life. So so with this the electrical energy, which is also seen as that masculine spitfire energy, that electricity. So if you've seen like a live wire on the ground, it's live, right? It's this live energy, right? So you have this electrical energy traveling throughout the body, but this energy also has to be grounded, right? So one of the things, if you are resonating with this and you're understanding what I'm saying, but also just to ground your energy, if this is news to you, to ground your energy, to ground yourself in the present, to ground yourself in the moment, to ground yourself into your connection with nature, right? What you want to do is literally walk outside, get in the grass, take your shoes off, take your socks off. It's okay. Take your socks off, take your shoes off, and literally place your soul, the soles of your feet, on the ground. And allow all of the energy that's flowing through your body to ground itself with the earth, to bring yourself in harmonic resonance with the frequency of the earth, right? Let me tell you why that's important. Because, and this is what I'm gonna just, because I have my little notes here. Because the root chakra is the home of what is considered to be what is called the Kundalini energy. And this is, if you've ever seen like your, what is it called? I wrote it down here, y'all, because I'm trying to remember the name of it. See, it's on this page. What is this thing called? There's an actual scientific name. I think it's called the coxal sacral something. What is it called? Child, if I find it, I'll tell y'all. But in any event, what it is, it's like your tailbone. So there's like a little tail at the end of, right, your spine. So this is where that energy is. And so what happens is, if you think about it like a dog, right? If you think about it like a dog who's scared, and a dog will tuck its tail between its legs, and it draws up its butt and stuff like that. That's how the root chakra operates. And so the root chakra is has to do a lot with, like I said, these ancestral memories and ancestral lineage. But if you think about that, you think about it like if your ancestors went through any sort of trauma, you understand, went through any sort of trauma, if you went through any sort of trauma, either in this lifetime or in another, whatever that information is that lives within your DNA code that has not had an opportunity to express itself and to heal itself, it is rebirthed into the generations until it is healed. Do you understand what I'm saying? It is rebirthed again and again and again and again so that it is then healed through the generations to allow the generation to raise to a higher level of consciousness, because some of these things can be blockages to expanding our consciousness. And I trust that that makes sense. So, and so that's a part of this expanding of the chakras, this elevating or climbing, this ladder, if you may, an elevation, right, regarding the chakras, because you're elevating your levels of consciousness. So you dive deep and you come up for air and you breathe, right, and you heal these things and you move forward, right, and then you continue again and again and again, and it's for the purpose of soul growth, soul evolution, right? So it truly is about elevating your soul, right? And so at the base of the spine, that's that Kundalini energy. It's a place of transformation and power, but it's also like a coiled sleeping serpent. And once it's awakened, it awakens up the spine to deliver and transmit information and all of these things, and to unlock different things within your body. And that's a number of things that depends on your DNA and how much healing work you've actually done. So this is in part why I want to have these conversations, so that you are aware that the more healing you do throughout your lifetime, the more you are able to expand and to grow and to unlock not just pain or trauma, but to unlock the generational wealth, the generational health that literally lives within your cells. It lives within your DNA. And you're able to heal this once you heal those things that may have been blockages to that energy in your generation or in your lineage in the past. So again, the root chakra it's the root to our ancestry. And so it's also the place where many of us were disconnected. And this is very key, because many of us from this place were disconnected from the knowledge of our ancestors, like I said, through various traumas. This is the place where our power to heal comes from, because it comes through our ancestral lineage, right? So anyway, we'll get to that. But when you get to the root and you heal it, it that requires you getting to the root, like I said, getting to the root of your trauma. Or any sort of, it doesn't even have to be trauma, any sort of blockages. It could be something like, it could be fear. Most fear will come from some sort of trauma, but it also can just, again, maybe you were placed in a situation, or someone in your lineage was placed in a situation where they were just very, very afraid for whatever reason. And it caused in their spine to coil up, right? And to, just kind of take shelter, if you may. Because the root chakra also deals with things like stability, right? Which is why I'm on this stability ball to have this conversation with you all, because it deals with stability. So if you think about, if any of you have ever had back problems, right? Issues with your back, and I have, which is in part how Conscious Creations was started with, so if you've ever had back problems, specifically lower back problems, you know what that feels like. So being able to balance your core and to stabilize your core takes work for someone who deals with chronic back problems or chronic pain. You could very well, chances are, you have a root chakra blockage somewhere in your lineage that needs to be cleared, period, right? because the root chakra at this place is also the adrenal glands. Because remember, we're not talking about some woo woo stuff. This is what it is, right? So it's it deals also with the kidneys and the adrenal glands. So the adrenal glands is the place that deals with your fight or flight response, right? That hormone that deals with fight or flight. And so this is what I'm saying. If you find yourself, if there is some sort of fear or instability or fear of instability, that could be a root chakra blockage. So for example, if there's chronic poverty in the bloodline, we're talking about a fear and being in survival mode, right? Survival mode is it's a primal instinct just simply to survive. But we're not here to survive. We're here to thrive, to live, to create, to express. Right? You see what I'm saying? And so if you find yourself in constant survival mode, and this is what I was saying before with consumerism and capitalism, it keeps you in this constant survival mode. It keeps you in the base chakra, in your root chakra. Root chakra is not bad. We need it, right? But it keeps you there, right? And that keeps you in this lowered state, right? Because it keeps you in a place of survival. Now, the root chakra also deals with things like, let me see. Let's make sure I cover everything with y'all. Survival, stability, fight or flight. If you have sort of, like I said, poverty consciousness, kidney issues, it could also be like chronic fatigue syndrome, things like chronic fatigue. You want to take a look at your root chakra. Now, one of the things that you can do, of course, is you can do stability exercises. And again, I'm 5'11", so this ball is 75 centimeters. So I had to get a bigger one because my other one was too small. I figured that out. But you can get yourself a stability ball, and because so even when you do this, right? So like when I do this, I'm literally stretching out my spine, because a lot of times when we're sitting, we're placing all of the weight is on the base of the spine. Until we learn how to sit, right, and how to have better posture and things like that, and to sit with more intention, we recognize how much weight, how much energy we're placing on the spine. So doing things like this and stretching out the spine are very, very helpful. So I don't know if you can see, but what my hands are placed on the ball, and I'm lifting up and pushing myself up on the ball using my hands and my arms, so that my back is not and my spine are not engaged. So that allows me to push up, to open up the vertebrae, to allow any stuck or trapped energy that may be in my spine to be able to move and to flow freely, right? So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to find my place in my notes. Right. So this is another thing. So because this is dealing with generational healing, generational patterns, and the root chakra dealing with that ancient ancestral energy. When you heal when you heal, you literally heal your lineage. You heal bloodlines when you heal. This is why your healing is so important. So when you think about it, when your mother was pregnant with you, she was also carrying your children or her grandchildren. That's how it works. Because when a woman is born, right, when your mother gave birth to you, and say you are a woman, your mother gave birth to you, she was carrying you inside of her, and inside of you are your eggs, right? Hence the grandchildren. And so this is why it's so important to make sure that before, if we can, and I know that not everyone has had this opportunity, but for those of you who have not yet had children and who want to have children, healing any sort of generational trauma before you have children is important, because of all the things that I just stated. Because when say for instance, and we'll talk about this on because we can go really really deep into this, y'all, and I'm trying to really make sure that I don't lose y'all because it's a lot of information. But when a woman is pregnant, all of the hormones, all of this energy, everything that she's carrying, she's also carrying it in her womb. She's carrying this and she's giving this to the unborn baby, whatever that may be, right? Because it's energy, and she is literally the vessel and the portal for life. So women, you are so powerful, and I want you to know how truly powerful you are, to be able to truly to birth life and to bring forth life from the unseen realm to the seen realm is so fucking powerful. So powerful. And I hope that you know that, and you take that responsibility, and you take that that honor. Let me say that. You take that honor for what it is, right? You take that honor for what it is. And so in doing so, healing these things that have sometimes plagued generations, right? Because most of the time we did not, our ancestors, our people did not know. They were unaware, right? And so now that we have the opportunity to be aware, we have the opportunity to do things differently, not only for ourselves and our lifetimes, but for any generations that come after. So I'm so grateful for everybody who's tuning in, for all of you who are taking this information and using this information to change your life, because that's the goal. That's the goal, for you to be your best, most vibrant, most joyful, most abundant being that you came here to be, right? Um, so now, because this energy gets unlocked, it's unlocking this dormant DNA, right? And so you've probably heard it. You've probably heard of something called junk DNA. Now, hmm, okay. So let me say this. So first and foremost, your DNA ain't junk. All right. I hope you know that your DNA ain't junk. And calling it junk is an opportunity for you to not appreciate it. But those who call it junk know exactly what it is. They just don't want you to know what it is, right? So it's not junk. It's fucking magic. You understand? So when you unlock the magic in your DNA by turning yourself on, literally, you are turning yourself on and unlocking this. You're unlocking your own genetic sequence and your own code within your own quantum computer, right? And so when you do this, you are able to rewrite that code, because you are your brain, you are a quantum processor. And so when you unlock these codes within yourself, it's like unlocking a new level to a video game. I don't play video games, but I understand the concept. So you unlock these new levels to your own codes. But you do this, but healing is the key. Shout out to Professor Melanie for that too, because I think this was in the summertime. She was talking about Chiron, the Chiron placement in people's natal chart, and I never really thought about it, but the glib, is it called glib? Whatever, the little icon, the symbol for Chiron is a key, and she's right. Chiron is the key. It's the key to your healing, which is the key to your unlocking, your awakening, your unlocking, your ascension, your expansion. Healing is the key. And it starts with the root. Not just the root chakra, but again, getting to the root of the trauma, getting to the root of the pain, getting to the root of the issue so that you can unlock your magic and your power. Now here's the thing. Now this is where some people may get offended, and that's okay. You can be offended, but it's still truth, right? So the root chakra, this is, it's this energy, because understand it's energy. And so the energy of the root chakra, because it deals with your foundation, it deals with your root, it deals with your structure, it deals with your your stability, right? Because of that, one of the things that was done in part to arrest, right? To arrest your root chakra, and thereby to arrest your development, was to introduce the concept of religion, right? Because if you are worshiping, like literally giving praise, honor, and worship, bowing down to, as your God, your Savior, something that does not look like you, and that has, you know what I mean, and that creates issues mentally, right? And so that in part deals with the instability, because it creates a schism of mind. Do you see what I'm saying? And so a lot of our ancestors were fractured in part because of religion, and that's just truth, right? Um, and so being able to unlock this energy, some people may not understand what it is you're talking about, what it is that you're doing, may seek to vilify you, it is this, in part, this energy. And also, and we'll get to that, we'll get to other aspects of this, but it is that energy that has truly been vilified and demonized, that energy of working with your ancestors, getting in touch with your roots. Honestly, this is why I believe that so many people that are called African Americans, or so-called black people, right? Melanated people who look like me, right? Um, Historically did not know our ancestors, right? It just makes sense to me, right? That it, because when I see that so many of us deal with kidney issues, back issues, poverty consciousness, all of these things, it makes sense to me. It makes perfect sense to me that it is this place that had to be arrested, and to keep you from really being able to work with your ancestors, to tap into your ancestors, to connect with your ancestors, to demonize and vilify working with your ancestors, so that you never awaken to who you are, because you'd be too afraid to, right? Because religion would teach you you're going to hell or something like that, right? So it'd be like, and again, I'm not coming for religious people, I'm just saying what it is. But you'd be too afraid to talk to your ancestors, your grandmother, your great grandmother. You'd be too afraid of fear of hell or punishment or damnation or whatever from doing that. And so you'd be the bloodline would be locked out of all of the wisdom, the knowledge, the healing, all of that would be locked. The bloodline would be locked out of that until someone came along to heal it. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is how unlocking your power is so important. Um, okay. It's body politics, right? It's body politics. Now, it is what it is. So the key is for you getting back in tune and in touch with your body, with your vessel, with your energy, and your connection to the divine, to cosmic intelligence, to the God consciousness, to what I mean, to the all, getting back in touch with the all. And it starts with you going inside of you, right? Going inside of you, because all of the answers are inside of you. They've always been inside of you. It's just a matter of you unlocking it through the healing process, and making that journey so that you can truly step and walk into your power. And I trust that makes sense. I know I've been talking now for 45 minutes, y'all. All right, now How does the energy of the root chakra manifest in the physical realm? Poor self-image, right? Being insecure, because it deals, like I said, it deals with stability. And so when you say, when you are feeling what people call insecure, that means there's something inside of you that's not feeling secure. So you need to get and to become internally secure, right? So in order to do that, you want to work on your root chakra, and we'll get to some of the things that you can do in addition to, you know, opening up your spine and doing those sorts of things, right? But poor self-image, um, like I said, poverty as a concept, because when I look at poverty, um, and I'm just saying what I'm saying, y'all. Just saying what I'm saying. You take what you take from it, but it is what it is. So when you look outside and you look at the earth in her natural form, the earth is abundant. Life is abundant. Air is abundant. The sun rises every day. The sun gives you vitamin D. The sun gives you, it feeds the brain. It feeds your neuromelanin. You know what I mean? The sun is powerful. So all of these things are abundant, right? The ocean is abundant. The ocean waters are abundant. The soil is fertile. I mean, you get what I'm saying? All of these things. The trees are everywhere. The oxygen, eating the trees, eating the plants, is receiving the chlorophyll, the minerals that your body needs to thrive. Life is truly abundant. But when you introduce, certain concepts like capitalism, consumerism, all of these things, paying bills every 30 days, all of this stuff, right? Uh, these external things that we have come to know as human beings, right? Um, all of those things can then have you in the place where you believe or you forget that abundance is your birthright. You know what I'm saying? You forget that life is abundant. You forget that you can wake up every day, hopefully, and breathe, right? You can go outside and breathe oxygen, right? You can go outside and be fed by the sun. Now again, I got to work on that. I'm not going to keep qualifying everything because it truly is what it is, y'all. And so you take, if it resonates with you, you take that. If not, then leave it. It's okay, right? Um, but when we're talking about this concept and having people believe that abundance is not their birthright and have them believe that they are, lacking, less than, oppressed, any of those things, I see that as a disruption in the gnosis or that knowing that you have of who you are. Because if you truly, and it starts with the premise that you are a powerful, divine, cosmic, supreme being, right? Now, again, take what resonates, right? If you don't resonate as that, then you're not that. That's okay. But for those of you who identify as that, right, or who know these things to be true, then when you introduce a concept like poverty and lack to a being who is infinite in all ways, it causes a psychological disruption. Do you see what I'm saying? And so a lot of these things are a form of psychological warfare, right? Because it's confusing to the psychology of someone who genetically they know better. Do you see what I'm saying? Somewhere down the line, you know truth. Truth resonates on a frequency. You see what I'm saying? But you have to be, you have to be in tune with that frequency of truth by living and walking in yours. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's all connected, y'all. It's all connected. Okay. So, right. So the physical symptoms, like I said, of an unbalanced root chakra can look like low back issues. We've talked about that. Poor posture. And this is this is in part because when you feel like, because think about it, right? You're standing erect, generally speaking, you're standing erect, your body's erect. But when you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, that literally pulls everything down, right? It pulls your energy down, it pulls your body down. And if you spend a long enough period of time with that, carrying that energy, that weight of the world on your shoulders, can't let it go sort of energy, it depresses you. You understand? It depresses your energy field. So if you are feeling yourself, if you are feeling your spine begin to curve, if you are feeling your back begin to hurt, if you know what I mean, if you are feeling just otherwise like you are not standing tall and confident and feeling you, if you ain't feeling that, you may want to look at your root chakra because it may need to be balanced. And that's okay, because that's what we're here for. That's what we do. We do that. Um, Now, some of the witchy tips that I can give you to help with balancing your root chakra, like I said, go outside, ground your energy, planting your feet on the soil. Wear, sorry, um, there we go. Wear earth tones, particularly the color red, because the root chakra deals with that primal survival energy, that blood energy, right? So, one of the things that we've done at Conscious Creations, boop, 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 is we have created not just a root chakra blend of oils, but we have a 7 chakra set that you can get on the website, www.consciouscreations.live. But this is the root chakra oil. Like I told y'all, I dealt with root chakra issues for a very long time, and it flares up every now and then, right? But this is in part why everything, I'm saying, that I've created is because either I've dealt with it or I know someone that has. And so, or I just, was, what's the word? Led to create something, right? So for someone in the future or whatever. But the root chakra oil is called I Am the Bag and I Am Secure. And in this oil, it contains oils like ginger, grapefruit, sandalwood, cinnamon, and ylang ylang, right? Now, all of those oils were intentionally chosen for this particular blend of oils to balance the root chakra, to bring it into balance. So you can go to the website, pick that up. Yeah, and if you want to go ahead and get all 7, we'll make that for you too. So you can do that as well. Because we're going to go through all 7, right? So you can use an oil, like an oil to help ground. Now, ginger obviously is a root. That's why it's included. Ginger is a root. And so you want to be rooted in your reality, rooted in your truth, rooted in your vision, rooted in with your connection to the divine. You know what I'm saying? You want to be firmly planted and deeply rooted, right? And so this is one of the reasons that ginger root is included. So adding ginger to your diet, adding root vegetables to your diet. So beets are very good. Not only does it help to cleanse the blood, but it also, if you have, like, so I know that folks that have diabetes, usually they have that very rough skin on their feet. That is due to blood flow. Now, beets actually help to cleanse the blood, and beets help to heal that, right? So having beets, and I must say this, talk to your doctor or your medical provider that you trust, your herbalist, whomever, before taking any supplements. Now, beets are fruit. It's a vegetable. It's not, you know what I mean? But I have to say that because I know that everyone has their own situations going on. I'm simply telling you, beet root is going to help your root chakra. So if you are having issues at the root chakra level, add beets. This time of the year, fruit like pomegranate, excellent. First of all, pomegranate is so good. Have you ever had a pomegranate? Anyway, pomegranate is excellent. Pomegranate also actually, the seeds of the pomegranate actually help to protect the cells from cellular damage. So that's the thing too. So um, oh, so some of the grounding crystals. Now, again, you can do black crystals. Black crystals are good because the root chakra, the energy of the root chakra is generally like seen as black or red, right? Because of the planetary bodies that govern this. Because again, all of these things are within you. You are the cosmos, and so the entire universe is within you, right? So if you add black crystals like black tourmaline, jet, obsidian, right? All of these things are going to help with that energy, that root chakra, Mars, grounding energy. Okay. You can also add, one of my favorite crystals actually is reds, is garnet. Garnet is so powerful, y'all. One time I went to the store, I picked up this garnet stone. I have never felt that kind of energy come from a crystal before. Before that moment, right? Garnet, very, very powerful, deep red, beautiful, beautiful crystal. So if you're working on your root chakra, you also want to add garnet. You can do red jasper. That's another red tiger's eye, right? These are just different crystals. They're all available on the website. But if there's a store near you that offers them, then do that, whatever, right? But if you are having root chakra issues or you want to balance your root chakra, these are some of my witchy tips that you can do for that. Also, like I said, the Divine Feminine Rising Tea, because, like I said, it's made with nutritives. I mean, it doesn't just contain the nutritives, but all of these plants, they're earth based, right? They're connected to the earth. They grow from the earth. So that's really going to help to ground your energy, but also for you to connect with the essence of the herb itself. That's the beautiful thing about herbal medicine, is that when first of all, the plant itself has its own essence, right? It has its own frequency, its essence, and its own vibration. And then when you take that with something of this powerful magnetic feminine force like water, right? You're going to amplify the energy of the plant by adding it to water. You see what I'm saying? Now, then of course you're going to change it a bit, because you're going to boil that water and make it into a tea to make it hot, right? But it simply brings the heat from the water allows it activates the essence of the herbs themselves. So it's very, very powerful, and this is why I'm very proud, particularly, of this tea blend, because it's just that powerful, y'all. It is what it is. I add a little bit of honey, because usually I don't add sweeteners to my herbal teas, but there's certain ones that I do, and this happens to be one. So I just add a little bit of honey, and there you go. So now what's the solution other than what we've already talked about? Balancing the root chakra, consistency, discipline, self-control. Consistency, discipline, self-control. Because if think about it like this, let me just tell you a little story. So when I was dealing with chronic back issues, it felt, let me say it that way, it felt challenging to even get up every day, to get out of bed, because I felt like it took so much effort, so much energy just to move and to go about my daily life, because there was so much pain in my body, right? Or at least that's what I felt. I felt so much pain. And so it made it challenging for me to move forward. You understand what I'm saying? This is one of the things that happens with the root chakra. It makes it difficult for you to build momentum, to go forward, to keep going, to want to keep elevating and rising and doing all of the powerful things that you're here to do, because it deals with the things in the physical realm. You see what I'm saying? Whereas when you get to the higher chakras, you're talking about the spiritual realm, right? The as above and the so below. And so consistency is key, because there will be times that you don't want to push through. And I've been there, right? If you have back problems, I get it, right? So there are times that your physical body does not want to push through, but you push through. And you push through so that your muscles and your body can get used to you going, right? Because when everything when you and honestly and take this for what it is, right? Yes, rest is a revolution. Take time to rest when you need rest. But what I'm saying is for those who are dealing with chronic issues, and now they've gotten to a place where they actually feel that they can't move forward, right? So we're talking now knee issues, right? That ability to move forward, knee issues, spine issues, the ability to take care of yourself, to be able to stand on your own. Those are root chakra issues, right? Because we're literally talking about your spine and the ability to be able to stand. And so if you're having trouble with people pleasing, even that, right? Because it manifests in a number of ways. If you feel like you can't stand up for yourself and you want to tuck tail and run every time, root chakra, right? Root chakra. Because again, like I said, it deals with that Mars energy, and Mars as a planetary body is known to be the planet of war, how you fight, right? But if you're how you fight. And so if you're having issues with that ability, right, and with that confidence, that all of that, then you want to look at your root chakra. Now, confidence also deals with the solar plexus. We'll talk about that on week 3 when we talk about the solar plexus. But for now, we're just talking about the fear that can live in the root chakra. But once you clear that out, that frees that energetic field to to be in its highest vibration, if you may. You see what I'm saying? Because it's all a matter of degrees and vibrations and frequencies and these things. And I hope that makes sense. I know that I've given y'all a lot today. And if you're new to this, it may be a little bit overwhelming. So you may want to just go back and just look at it in pieces. That's fine. But you want to make sure this is information to digest. That's that Virgo energy, the digestion, the digestive system, right? To process, to digest, and then to apply what is applicable to you, whatever you feel called to apply at this point in your journey. So keep going, y'all. The consistency and the self-discipline is key. It's key. Because the root chakra is governed by Saturn. And Saturn is known as the disciplinarian, right? That planetary, because it's like your, right? It's your ancestors, right? So it's that like your ancestors watching over you sort of energy. That's how I see it, right? Your ancestors watching over you and, saying, no, child, don't do it like that, or whatever the case may be, or yes, child, here, whatever, right? You talk to your ancestors how you talk to them. But this is what I'm saying. This is why that consistency is key, because when we're talking about breaking habits and breaking patterns that are generational, that's going to take some consistency. That's going to take you continuing again and again and again until you see a shift, until you see the turn, until you see the results. If you are having issues with stability, now I'm talking about on all levels, financial and otherwise, get yourself a ball like this, get yourself one of these exercise balls, which one is proper for your height, and stabilize your core, right? The core is the midsection of your body, right? That literally brings together the upper and the lower kingdoms, the higher and the lower, right? The heaven and the earth, right? Because you are that. You are all of that. Yes, you are. You are all of that. But anyway, so you want to stabilize your core. As within, so without, right? So when you work on stabilizing your core, you're getting into that frequency of stability, right? Getting into the frequency of stability, and then you'll find, and being consistent, and you'll find it easier, right? You'll find it easier to be stable. You'll find that you're not having so many issues with stability because you know what I'm saying, you're becoming stability. You see what I'm saying? So you are literally becoming the thing that you're trying to attract, right? So you are becoming stability. Hey, mama. So when you become stability, you're not concerned with being stable because you are that. Do you see what I'm saying? And then stability will gravitate to you because everything that you want also wants you because it's already yours. You understand? It's already yours. It's just waiting for you to remember that and to be the person to receive that. So this is why in the beginning we talked about the energy, allowing yourself to be in that feminine space of receiving, right? Because reciprocity is universal. You give and you receive. You give and you receive. You give and you receive. So allow yourself to receive what it is that you need. Allow yourself to receive the nutrients that your body needs, the minerals your body needs, the love your body needs, the stability your body needs, right? The warmth your body needs, because right now it's like freezing outside and snowing. So so allow yourself to receive all that you need to be the best version of you. And so the outcome, I want to read this part to you all. The outcome of all of this, when we're talking about healing the root chakra, the outcome of healing the root chakra is power on full, because it is literally the foundation. So once you heal the foundation, oh my goddess, once you heal the foundation, it allows every other aspect of you to be awakened and unlocked. Every aspect. But understand, that's everything. Everything is everything, right? You know you, right? So as you unlock this energy, you move your hips, right? You move your hips because you want to make sure that you're moving like that, again, that lower part of your body, and that that tailbone, that you're moving your tailbone and you're allowing that energy to flow. You're allowing that energy to flow. So if you are having these issues where your spine feels stiff, I know this was something that I have to work on consistently because of the surgeries and all that kind of stuff, but I've had to work on it consistently, and my goal is to get to a point where I'm not having to do that, unless I'm just doing it for dancing for fun, right? But the point is to be able to have that flexibility of movement so that the energy within your body flows freely, so that you can express yourself freely without having to be concerned, right, with people pleasing and all of the things that we can get concerned about as people that truly inhibit our free expression, right? Our free expression of our own, of your own divine nature, because you are here to express the God in you, the goddess in you. And how do you do that if you're concerned about what people think about you, right? So healing the root chakra will help to heal those self-image issues, those insecurity issues, those fears of lack and limitation, of not having enough. It will help to heal those things. And like I said, when you're adding the nutritives and everything to your body, it helps you to rebuild your foundation from that place of lack to that place of abundance. And when you do this, like I said, it unlocks your entire body of consciousness, right? As you elevate yourself, it unlocks your entire body of consciousness,